because I mean, there's a lot of Black people who's just like, I don't agree, whatever. But I just feel like you ain't getting no results unless you heard. You can't be heard being peaceful. You just can't.
But I feel like that again, that's just gonna cause more violence because the police, they're gonna have to gain order. Like we don't live in a goddamn like just no rules place. Like there's still laws. So I feel like the police are going to have to regain order, and that's gonna just cause more violence and more deaths. And it's like a circle, like a cycle. And I feel like we should work towards breaking that as opposed to adding more fuel to the fire because we're already upset.
Alright. 5, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey y'all, welcome back to Basically Unpopular. It's your girl Laura Graham.
I'm Bae.
I'm Patricia. I'm trying to make my white name sound real ghetto.
Patricia.
You trying to make your white name sound ghetto? What the fuck?
I'm Patricia. My name is Patricia. No, I'm just kidding.
You gotta leave the is out. It's my name.
I'm Patty.
Eddie.
Alright, y'all. So, before we start this video, what's popping? Like, we haven't recorded anything since last week. What y'all been
In a whole 7 days.
A whole week, bro. 7 days. How many hours is that? Too many?
Too many.
What's popping, y'all?
Shit.
You know me.
Same shit, different day.
Working. Had drill this weekend. Getting ready to bounce up out of here in 10 days.
I know.
Yo, yeah, you about to get deployed, yo. How you feeling about that?
10 days. I'm ready. I'm ready. Trying to pack my apartment up. Trying to packing the doors part. Once I get out there.
That gotta be hella fucking stressful. I'm gonna try. That gotta be hella stressful because not only you're packing to deploy, but you're packing your whole house up. Like you gotta.
Yeah, my house look a hot ass mess. Like it's boxes on top of boxes, and then like I've been going through clothes. So I got like piles of clothes here, piles of clothes there. Like I got shelves and stuff that's like empty. It's like stuff is empty because it's in boxes, but it's still stuff everywhere. It looks crazy.
Yeah.
I just be hoping nobody like pops up over here because it looks a hot mess in here.
What about you, babe?
Ain't nobody gonna
been working from home.
I love it. I honestly, I'm ready to go back to work just because I'm fucking bored. But I'm ready to go physically back to work. Have something to do. Having nothing to do is not fun.
Yeah. Me too. I've been on quarantine for the past 2 weeks, and I go back to work tomorrow. And like I'm hyped because I want to see people. Like I'm tired of seeing my son and my mother. Like they gotta go. So I want to see new faces and have different kind of conversations and all that good stuff.
Well, we already have a good one today.
Yes, we are. So speaking of y'all, so today we bring to you basically unpopular, bring to you the topic that everybody's talking about worldwide. We're just talking about all the protests. We're gonna talk about all the protests. We're gonna talk about all the police brutality. We're gonna give our own opinions. If we've been through anything, we're gonna talk about that too, and just to hear from our perspective, like just to see how we feel about the situation. I feel like we all feel the same way, but to put it into your own words. So I'm just gonna start off by saying that I've been watching the news, mostly on my phone, but I've been watching the news and I've been learning a lot about what's been going on. But since I didn't grow up in America, I cannot say that I have witnessed too much of it, besides from what I see on social media. So I haven't witnessed too much of it. Well, I haven't witnessed anything, period. I've never lived through it. I've never had I don't know no one, that's been to any kind of situations like that, even if they didn't die because of the brutality that's been happening. But like I've never had anyone that was, well, my dude, but like that, like any situation he's had with the cops been like years ago, like way back then. So like I would like to learn, and I want to learn from the people who I'm closest to. So my girls is not only a video, they're gonna teach me a lot of things. So who's ready to take the floor?
I just want to first, I think the first thing I want to talk about is all these protests. So let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all really get upset? How do y'all feel about the protest? Do y'all feel like we should protest? Or do y'all feel like protesting don't solve anything?
You want to go, Bella?
Yeah. I feel like I understand why people are doing it, because there's been no resolution with peaceful protest or just anything that we've done or tried in the past. So I understand you want to do something, and sometimes that's all you can do is just march and, take a stand. So I get it. I hope that it's not all for nothing. I hope that it actually does inspire change, and it has been. We've seen that. So I understand it. Personally, I have not been out, but I support it 100%, and I understand the goal. So I get it.
See, I think the whole peaceful protest thing is like, I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't personally feel like there's no point in protesting if it's peaceful. And I know that sounds bad, but if everybody stands on the sidewalk and hold hands and hold up signs, you're not gonna get no results. You don't get results until you start disturbing the peace, costing the city money, people causing an inconvenience for the people who live around. If you're peacefully protesting, I just feel like there's no such thing as a peaceful protest. I feel like that is a way for the others and the government and all that to be like, oh, we support protesting as long as it's peaceful. Y'all only support it if it's peaceful because y'all know that y'all not gonna get no results out of peaceful protest, out of a protest if it's peaceful. It's not causing nobody no money. It's not causing no type of disturbance. None of that stuff. Like, there's literally no point of a peaceful protest. Colin Kaepernick tried it years ago. Look where he got. Nowhere.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's been no resolution. I understand the frustration, the outrage. We've all feel the same way. So sometimes you have to do drastic things to get results. So I get it.
What do you think about it?
So me, so I understand the concept of going outside and yelling for you to be heard. But it's like, if no one's listening, what's the purpose of it, So I remember many times I felt, because I have like a whole list of like different places people going to protest to, and I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna go today just because, like, why not? And then I also said to myself, okay, when I go out there and I yell and I do all this extra stuff, what am I technically changing? Because I would like to change stuff just because, not only because I'm a Black woman, but it's because I'm a Black woman in America with a Black son. So I would, the thought of it sound very good to me, but then about a few little things I know about American history, I know that Martin Luther King, he used to protest a lot back in the day, 60s or whatever the case may be, and it's still happening. So, and then when I watch the little jokes that you see on TikTok talking about someone's coming from the past, coming to the future, and they say what's going on, and we talk about all the protests, and they say, like, still, that's the sad part, because it's like, for how many years apparently Black Americans been fighting and protesting and all this extra stuff to get equality, and it's not happening. So what makes the protest different now? If that makes sense.
Well, you gotta think, yeah, we're still fighting for equality, but you gotta admit, we've come a long way. Like, if you think back to the civil rights movement to now, we've come a long way. Like, yes, in 2020, we still got first Black this and first Black that, but there's a lot more Black people in power. Could not happen before. And then you also got to think things like the Rodney King incident and stuff like that happened, because it's really just, I don't know how to put this. No, everything is not going to change. It's not going to, if you protest, white people and Black people are going to be on the same playing field. There's never going to be, that's not going to happen. But when it comes to things like mass incarceration, police officers killing people in the streets for no reason, like, when it comes to stuff like that, you can speak out on those specific issues, like specifically Breonna Taylor that happened here in my city. If it wasn't for all the protesting, like right now they're trying to protest to get those police officers arrested. But if it wasn't for the protest, they wouldn't have passed the Breonna Taylor law. And the Breonna Taylor law is they completely got rid of no-knock warrants. That wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the protests. If it wasn't for all the protests that's been going on across the country, and that man who got killed in Atlanta last night, that police officer got fired immediately. If it wasn't for the protests, that wouldn't happen. No, it's not going to completely take away racism, but it's going to fix certain issues right there that we looking at in the moment without them just sweeping it under the rug.
But my thing is it my, like, for me, it's, ask me, if anything, ask me this question 5 years from now, because things could be happening right now because it's what's happening right now. But just like everything big, as long as it don't die down to the point that we're not talking about it no more, and to the point that, you know, like, that we're still holding people accountable, because you could hold somebody accountable today, but then when it's not the hype of the situation no more, you're gonna have a complete different outcome of situations. You might have more bullshit that's gonna take place, and it's like, why? You understand? If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. You're basically saying, like, keep this momentum going.
Yeah,
don't,
like
don't let it die down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if we're gonna do it, if you're gonna do, because I have seen so many different people sharing stuff, and so even myself, I caught myself, because I've signed so many petitions, and it's crazy because I don't sign up for nothing online. Like, I just don't do it, and I've signed so many petitions that I realized last week now that just passed, I realized that if I signed 2 petitions was a lot. Like, I feel like it was a lot. I'm like, what the heck? Like, the week before, anything I saw, I was signing, just because the more signatures you get is the more they look into it, and the more they look into it, the more we could try to see if we would get justice. I like, okay, I fail to believe that I'm the only person, not only in America, but in the world, that it was dying down on. So then I caught myself, and I'm like, whoa. So this morning when I woke up, I'm like, what's going on? So then I went back, and I see whatever else I could sign, and I was sharing whatever else I could share, because I don't have much people on social media, period. But even if I could send this message to one person, at least I felt like I did something good. So, like, as long as we continue with this, and we keep on with the momentum, and we keep on recognizing that, okay, well, not only that it's wrong, but we holding these people who are doing these injustice to our people, and we holding them accountable, well, then I'm gonna be like, okay, well, it was worth it. Like, obviously, you only could know if it was worth it if you keep on doing it and we get an outcome from it. But I just hope.
We have been.
Huh?
We have been. And one thing that I have noticed is that protesting ain't new. Like, something happens and people protest once every so many years. One thing I have noticed is the demands with the protests. It's like, we're protesting for this and we want this to happen. All of these racist and statues and murals that's been getting taken down all over the country, and like, specifically whatever's happening in certain cities, whatever man got killed by this cop, we want this to happen, we want that to happen. Like, I've noticed with these protests, there's been demands. And like, you see the change. Next thing you know, you get on the news 3 days later, this law was passed in this state, or this officer got fired, or that. Like, if you really pay attention, like, it's working. I agree with you. Just gotta, it needs to be consistent. It needs to last.
Right.
And the hard, keep protesting.
The hard part about keeping the momentum up is that social media, like, the news is going to change. They're going to stop focusing on it. They're going to stop reporting on it. They're going to move on to whatever is new and hot. So I think it really is our responsibility to keep it relevant and keep it current and keep it updated. So I agree.
And that's where social media comes in.
Right. But like you said, there's other ways to support other than protesting. You know, there's the petitions, there's donating money, there's other ways to support other than protesting. Not saying that protesting should stop. I just think that we need to incorporate other aspects to it as well, especially monetary wise, because that's really where the power lies.
Mm-hmm. And protesting is not for everybody, but as long as you support it, I don't know, take some masks down there, like drop some masks off, some cases of water down wherever they protesting, and then whatever you do, share something. If there's gonna be a protest or a rally somewhere and it's on social media, share it, get it out there. Like Connor said, like protesting isn't for everybody, and that's fine. It's just as long as you're doing something for the cause.
Yeah. I have a question for y'all. What is, like, I already know how I feel about it, but what is your thoughts on, and I don't know if I'm saying this right, because to be honest with you, I've never heard this word before, but looting. What's your opinion on looting?
No, I feel like sometimes again, the frustration is going to build and you feel like there's nothing you can do. So there's no outlet besides violence. So it sucks that it has to resort to violence, but sometimes that's what it takes. And as far as like breaking shit and tearing shit up, like, so what? Like, I mean, I understand it might be frustrating for like small business owners and all that type of stuff, but these big ass corporations, like, they'll be fine. I'm not worried about a Target. I'm not worried about a Walmart. Like, they have plenty of money to recoup and get all of that stuff back. So that's so small compared to a literal human life. You know what I'm saying? If we have to lose a couple fucking stores, so be it. So people are dying for no reason. Like that, there's so much, it's bigger than that. So I'm not worried about it. I'm not gonna participate in it, but I'm not shaming people like, oh, you guys are ruining the city. Like, they gonna rebuild that shit. People are dying. Like, there's more important shit than that.
I don't think I say is keep it at the Black neighborhoods.
That would be nice.
Go to the tourist part of your city. Go to the downtown tourist part of your city. Go to where the city makes the most money. Because I'm sorry, like, you gotta hit them where it hurts. Like, you talking about going out protesting and not being heard. That's how you're able to get heard. Go down to the tourist part of the city, the busiest part of the city, where they make all their money at, wherever there's an arena at, or this at, tear that stuff up. Take it out to the rich white people neighborhood who keeps voting these people in power, who is keeping us oppressed.
Like, they have to rebuild. Like, they have money to do it.
And they're not gonna rebuild our neighborhoods. You tear up the poor neighborhoods, you tear up the Black neighborhoods, it's gonna stay like that. They're not gonna rebuild. You tear up any other area, you start hitting them in their pockets. Now, granted, it's a little more to it, because, taxes will go up eventually and all of this and that, but trust me, they would much rather not go through all of that.
So, question, do you feel like that's perpetuating the stereotype of just Black people being violent and, not able to use their voice or their intelligence to get the things?
We're going to have that stereotype regardless. We're going to have that stereotype. This is how I feel about it. They're going to say it, but they don't really believe it. They're going to put that label on, oh, Black people are angry. Look at them. They looking like thugs. This is the reason why. They're going to say that regardless. They know that it's a very educated Black people out there. They know that we just not these dumb, ignorant, all thugs. But they say it because they don't like us, and that's how they want to label it. Because, I mean, there's a lot of Black people who's just like, I don't agree, whatever. But I just feel like you ain't getting no results unless you heard. You can't be heard being peaceful. You just can't.
But I feel like that, again, that's just going to cause more violence, because the police, they're going to have to gain order. Like, we don't live in a goddamn, like, just no rules place. Like, there's still laws. So I feel like the police are going to have to regain order, and that's going to just cause more violence and more deaths. And it's like a circle, like a cycle. And I feel like we should work towards breaking that, as opposed to adding more fuel to the fire, because we're already upset. We're already angry. So the reaction is to lash out violently, but that's going to cause the police to be violent, and then it's just like building. It's like,
so when you say violent, do you mean like? Because I don't mean like go out and fight the police,
right? But I'm saying, if y'all are stealing and looting and setting shit on fire, the police are going to come and shut that shit down. They have to disperse that crowd. They have to do that kind of stuff because that's their job. So people are going to be hurt. Then of course people are going to want to fight back to the police because they don't fuck with the police. So it's just like, this is just a cycle of negativity and violence, and no results are really happening because of the higher up people. They're looking at it like, oh, see, this is why, like you just said. Like, so
I mean, they can say it all they want, but I mean, at the end of the day, so let me ask you a question. How do you feel like it should be handled?
I don't know the best way. I just feel like I just feel like money is where it's at. Like, if we, like you said, hit them in the pockets, like, I really don't.
You don't have an answer.
I don't know the best way. I just feel like,
I do feel like it will get worse before it gets better. I do feel that way. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, you got to think, it's only so many police in the city. So if you got police out there with the protesters every single night, so then you got to activate the guard. But then the guard can't do their job because they out there trying to help the police officers every single night. And then you got to pay for all of this stuff to get fixed up. Like, it's going to get bad, but it's going to get better. You just have to be consistent with it. Because eventually, somebody's going to fold. It's either going to be us or it's going to be them. Mm-hmm. If we stand our ground, it'll be them quicker. Because I ain't seen the police on the road in weeks. You cannot have the police, every city police in one spot every night. You can't do that.
Think about what is being asked. We're asking for the people who are murderers to be arrested. Like, why do we have to protest for that? Like, you're literally killing innocent people for no reason. There should be no question about whether or not you're going to be arrested and charged with murder. Why the fuck?
Like I said, that murder last night in Atlanta,
right.
That cop got arrested immediately. I do not feel like that would have happened if it wasn't for the protest. If it wasn't for the protest, he wouldn't have been arrested. Like,
we're asking for laws to be fair. We're asking for murderers to be put in jail. Like, and y'all are fighting us on that? Like, what the fuck? What do you mean? Like, that's normal. That's how it should be. We're asking for the police to stop doing dumbass shit and killing people for no reason. Why is that a problem? So it's the laws. It's the laws and the training. The police, like, there's so much, it's like a systematic failure. You know what I'm saying? It's not as simple as firing those few cops or putting them in jail, whatever. It's the training that the police have. It's their, like, that ingrained fucking thought of, oh, black people, danger. Like, you have, all that shit needs to be changed. It's gonna take a long time to get there, you know, but we have to start somewhere.
I saw this video and they were talking about how when you're doing a background check on the cops, you shouldn't just do a background check on the cops, you should do a background check on their family as well, because this cop might be clean on paper, like he's never been to jail and all that good stuff, but like, what family were you brought up in? Because you might have a father that's racist in the sense that he's known to be racist, and your grandfather, great-grandfather could have been part of the KKK, and that shit could have been brought down to you, maybe not as intense as how it used to be back in the day, but it's still instilled in your head some way, shape, or form. Like, if you have that mentality of, oh, well, that neighborhood, I don't want you in that neighborhood, why don't you want them in that neighborhood? Like, why your parents told you that you cannot play with little Tiquan down the street, that you have to play with Jonathan. So like, you need to look into not only them, but look into their ancestors and their parents and grandparents and all that good stuff.
And look into their mental health. I think look into their mental health, all of that.
Do you think they should do the same for military then? For joining the military? You think they should do the same for joining the military?
Most definitely.
That background check, it ain't on their family, but the background for military is pretty thorough.
They don't have secret clearance.
It is.
They don't do secret.
I don't know if it was that intense. Well, I guess it's for everybody, right? Because y'all saying it. But for me, it was really intense because, remember, I'm island girl. So they were trying to figure out, like, what's going on back there. Like, why do you want to join? Like,
they make you put down, like, all your family.
They had me in rooms sitting down asking me questions upon questions upon questions, and then trying to ask me the same question. And I'm like, how are y'all trying to give me? Because
you're from somewhere else. Bailey, you probably didn't put a lot of family members on your thing because they make you list like all your. So I had to list like all my siblings, my mama, my daddy, anybody who I've ever lived with. I ended up getting an investigator to come and talk to me as well. Like it's pretty thorough. Like, the background for the military is pretty thorough. Now,
it is.
They make you list all them people. I don't know if they actually do a background on them people. But if you got too much going on, they're gonna come talk to you. And they gonna
talk to me. I didn't list. Yeah, not because of my family, I don't think, because I don't really know a whole lot, but I had like a lot of like fights and arrests and shit back in the day, back in high school. So they came and talked to me about that kind of stuff and just like, you know, like, but it wasn't
for me, I didn't mention that my mother got deported, and they asked me about my mother being deported, and they asked me about, like, a brother of mine living in Puerto Rico, like, why was he there for that long? So they stuff. Yeah, they
if
went
you
in.
got a low credit score, they don't even accept you into the military.
They want to come talk to you about that, Jack. What's this credit? Like, what's going on? But I don't think they do that for the police. They don't have clearance.
It's not.
It's a lot of like burn on the job shit. But then you're learning from your older partner who probably already has his own biases from being years on the force and what they've seen, and it's all just fucking bullshit. And it's like just this ingrained thing that, you know, Black people are fucking dangerous. And it's like, okay, I understand that they're scared too for their fucking safety, but you're trained to diffuse the situation, are you not? Like, why is your first instinct is to shoot? You should be trained to diffuse the situation.
So the crazy thing is, right? I know someone that's a police officer. Like, I know him. Like, I can't say we're close in the sense that I don't go to his house and eat fucking dinner, but we're close in the sense that we work together and all that good stuff. And when I asked him why he wanted to become a cop, his answer was, I just needed a job. So
yeah,
a good answer.
He really and truly does not care. Like, he just needed a job at that time. So he just ended up being a cop. So it's like, you okay, you got the cop job, but you know, like, I want to know if it's for these other people. It's like I feel like it could be that some people want to be a cop because they just want to be like that. Like, yeah, I'm the law and you got to do as I say type stuff. And then some people is just, hey, listen, it's just a job. You're not going to come and harass me. Because there's some cops that, I feel like there's some cops that don't care whatsoever. So they're like, you're not going to harass me. Like, leave me alone. Let it be. It is what it is. Like, I don't care. And then you just, because there is a few, I don't want to think that all cops are bad. And that was going to be my next question. Like, how do y'all feel about cops in general?
I don't necessarily trust the police just from personal experiences, just from what we've seen. So I try to steer clear as much as possible. I don't want no smoke. You know what I'm saying? You come talk to me, I'm gonna be respectful, I'm gonna answer your questions. But other than that, I don't want nothing to do with them for real.
Of course, all cops aren't bad. But even the ones that aren't bad ain't that great if you ask me, because most of the time, 9 times out of 10, they not speaking out on the bad ones. Like that cop kneeled on that man's neck for 9 minutes. Other cops was trying to get him to get up, but nobody excessively, aggressively made him get up. It was like, man, no, don't do that. But no. So they might have been the quote unquote good cops because they knew it was wrong, but you should have been like, bash the badge, get your ass up. And if he didn't get up, you should have made him get up. So just because you're not bad, you're not that good. Not that good either.
The agent guy claimed, because I don't know, I know everybody was invested, but like how I said, I've never experienced this kind of thing. So I was like really invested in that. And I remember the Asian guy was saying that the reason why he couldn't speak up how he wanted to is because that was his superior officer.
So what?
Wow. Like, huh?
So what? I said,
the
so
guy
what?
who was kneeling on his neck on the
No, I'm saying, so what?
Exactly. That's what I was like, wow. So
wrong is still wrong at the end of the day.
Exactly. So that, like, so just because you're up there, you are allowed to go ahead and take a life
to kill somebody.
And apparently, it's not his first person that he's killed. So you just out here doing what makes you happy.
I feel like they have a duty to report, same as in the military. If your superior officer tells you to do some shit, you'd be like, you know it's wrong. Like, you don't want to disrespect, but it's also like, I feel like this is like you have the right to stand up. Like, you have to say something. You can't just sit there because they outrank you. Fuck that. Sorry, forget that. Like, there's no excuse for it. So I understand, but they protect their own. They're like a little fucking cult. You know, they protect their own, but that's still bullshit. You know it's wrong, and I just can't get with it.
So to answer your question, are all cops bad? If it was a yes or no and no in the middle, I would have to say yes. Because my in the middle answer would be like, it might be some out there who really have good hearts and intentions and they know it's wrong, but because I feel like they don't step up and do enough when they see wrong, you're not that great. So I'm just gonna say they all bad.
So, but do you feel like it's unfair to like generalize like that?
That's not generalizing. They genuinely don't speak up. So you can't be that great.
Well, the ones that we've seen in the highlight, in the spotlight, but in general, all cops in the world.
Unless you're speaking up, just because you have good intentions, just because you know it's bad, the moment that you decide to say styling, you just as bad as them. So I'm going to categorize you with them.
I kind of understand what Bella trying to come from, just because it's like, just like how when Black people do good, it's rare for you to see Black people do good, but I don't mean Black people don't be out here doing good things. Like, I've seen a few videos or whatever the case may be. For example, like this Black cop, like this, what was happening? I think they was trying to fight this one guy, like three cops were trying to fight this one guy, unarmed guy, and this Black female officer came up and she was like, no, not today. That's not what we're gonna do today. Like, that's not happening. And I fail to believe that was like the only time I could ever see such kind of situation.
But do
so
you
like,
think she would have reported them?
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
I wonder if there could be not black, but there could be cops that are doing the right thing, but they're just not being recorded. And if they are being recorded, they're not trying to post it just because it's like, wait, let's not post this good thing that's happening because it's gonna outweigh the bad thing that's going on. It's not like when Black people, it's just like when Black people are doing good things, but they're not gonna post the good thing that's happening because they want to talk about, they just want to speak on the negativity that we're doing, if that makes sense.
But it's not even just about posting though, because if there's all of these good cops and then you got, say it's half and half, like 50% good, 50% bad. If you doing what you're supposed to do within your union and reporting them, going through your union, going to see a period, speaking up, no, you're not gonna have me if you let this go on. These cops are not doing that. They might, I don't murder people, right? If I see somebody murdering somebody, hey, no, don't do that. And then they come to me and be like, did he murder him? No. I'm not good just because I'm not a murderer.
I don't think like it's that black and white. Because for example, like I think it was yesterday. Yesterday I went to Target and they had this Black lady talking about, oh, well, she don't feel like Target's supporting them enough and all that good stuff. And she's a Target employee. And obviously it's not the same thing, Target as in a cop. Like I'm not saying that they're on the same level or they're doing the same thing. But the way how she's going in and she's like, nah, bro, like what the fuck? Like, this is literally how she's talking. Like, what the fuck? Target is not supporting me, and I'm gonna come in with a red T-shirt that says Black Lives Matter on my T-shirt and blase blase. If that's how you feel, like, if anything, if that's how you feel about Target and you feel like they're not supporting you and you wanna stand your grounds, why are you there? You know? Like, why not just leave? But at the end of the day, it's not that simple because just because you leave doesn't mean, just because you leave because this company or this society or this association or this whatever is not supporting you and what you stand for and what's going on in the world, doesn't mean that the stuff that you need to take care of in your personal life goes away.
Nobody's telling them to quit. We're just saying if you got, I don't know how many cops work in one police station. If it's 100 cops that work in one police station, 50 of them are bad, 50 of them are good. If the 50 speak out on the ones that are bad, not saying quit, but if enough of them get recorded, enough of them stand up and go to whoever the highest that they can go to, and they all come together and they all be like, we're not taking this. These people are bad. They playing drugs on, there's cops out there playing drugs on people. It's cops out there doing all kind of crazy stuff. And if they just stand up and be like, they can't, I'm not saying quit, because of course you still got to feed your family, you still got this, you still got that. But if you got that many voices coming down, like you need to get rid of them, or you need to do something about this, or you need to suspend them, or they need additional training. If everybody stand up at the same time, but I just feel like they're not doing that.
Yeah, it could be that they're not, and it could also be that when you, because you see, I can't even speak from, because I don't even live in it. But I don't ever think that when cops or people are corrupted, it's just in that lower level. I always feel like there's more to it. There's up there, because if
that's
you keep on getting
the highest that you can go
so
up.
you go up and you feel like I believe that it could be that some people don't speak up. I do believe that people speak up, but I feel like some people could be in a situation that they spoke up, but repercussions.
It's power in numbers. That's why I say everybody has to speak up. It's power in numbers. That's why I say everybody. It's easy to come down on one person. You got to think the higher up you go, the less people there are. The higher up you go, it's less of them and more of you. So if it's one person speaking up, yeah, they might be able to come down on one person. But if it's 10, 15, 20 people going to the higher up, and it's only a few of them, and it's 10, 15, 20 of y'all, all of y'all not going to get the repercussions. That's how I feel about it.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but I also, Laura's saying, like, retaliation is real. And unfortunately, that racism is really deep-rooted, especially the higher up you go. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that want to put your neck on the chopping block for what you believe in. I believe in standing up for what you believe in, but sometimes you have to weigh the options of, are you really going to have these people to have your back? Y'all could all get into a group and talk and discuss, like, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. When it comes down to really doing it, are they really going to do it with you? Are they really going to risk losing their job and losing their, whatever, to feed their family? Like, it's a lot more to it than just standing up for the right thing, because the higher ups, they are the ones who are corrupt, for real. So it's like, what can you really do as a lowly fucking traffic officer who sees some shit and y'all all like, yo, that's fucked up?
I think y'all missing the part where I keep on saying everybody has to do it.
Right, but again, that comes down to,
but not
everybody.
But that's why I categorize. That's why I say then everybody's getting categorized as bad cops. Then that's why I say that one or two out of a whole the police department don't even be like, well, all of them ain't bad. No, they all bad then. So,
but what about when people generalize African Americans in that fashion? We don't like that to be done to us either.
That's not the same thing though. Like, how is it the same thing? That's literally good African Americans who go out there and put their neck on the chopping block, who go out there and they're motivational speakers, or they're getting jobs for Black people, or they're creating schools to help little brown and Black kids, or they're making sure they're in a position of power to change the laws or whatever in their state. Like, there's literally people out there doing that. They're not like, well, I don't want to be the only Black person doing it, so I'm not going to do it.
Right, but I'm saying that a general statement like anything is bad is just, I feel like it can't be true, because there's individuals and there's different, I don't know.
Until the day that I see cops step up,
and that's
which I don't. And to me, them kneeling in the streets, that stuff don't impress me. Like seeing them kneel on video, doing the Cupid shuffle, none of that stuff impresses me. None of that stuff impresses me.
Yeah, that's weird. I feel like that's just like pandering at that point. That's a little.
It is. I feel like if y'all really in union with us, like y'all claim, the fact that you're a cop too, there's more ways y'all could be doing this instead of dancing in front of a camera with the protesters. Put that energy somewhere else. That doesn't impress me.
I agree with that for sure. That does nothing. If anything, it kind of takes away from the seriousness of the situation. It makes it more of a joke, and it just doesn't do anything positive at all.
Interesting.
Have y'all been seeing all these businesses put Black Lives Matter in their windows?
I haven't. I've been seeing them posting shit. Like,
I was on that, and like I was on one of our strips down here in the city that has nothing like bars and restaurants and boutiques and stuff. It's a white area, so most of them are white owned. Actually, all of them are white owned, but I think it's like a few Black businesses, maybe, I don't remember, but they all got Black Lives Matters in their windows. And I'm like, I really feel like they're doing this because they was protesting down there. I really feel like they're doing it. I don't think they're doing I don't think they're doing it because they're really all about Black Lives Matter. I think they're doing it because, and then at that point, like, that's a slap in the fucking face, and it makes me want to bust your windows out. Because don't do that. Mm-hmm. If you're not really for it, don't act like you for it just to save your business. Like, I'm sorry, don't do that.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Every single one of these buildings got Black. All y'all don't like Black people. This is a whole white area.
Because in certain cities, they were posting. Certain cities were posting
like, come on now.
They were making lists of like Black-owned businesses like that to not touch during the riots and shit. So it's like they were like skipping over certain businesses and not fucking them up because they were Black-owned, and the people who weren't Black-owned, they was fucking that shit up.
Yes, they should. And just because you put Black Lives Matter in, I just don't believe that. Like, I'm just like, there's no way this whole strip supports Black people. Mm-hmm. But every single business got a Black Lives Matter.
They just trying to save their damn business, child.
So, Yeah, that's great. I saw this one post of this girl. She was taking a picture as if she was sticking up a Black Lives Matter poster, and someone else recorded her because she was faking it. Like she wasn't actually posting nothing. She was just signing up next to it and with a something in her hand, acting as if she was putting up the poster sign.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yo, some people are doing this shit for clout. Like some people are just
Absolutely.
I'm down for the cause, but
absolutely,
it's an aesthetic now. It's like going to protests. They got video shoots and fucking taking pictures, and like it's more of a cool thing to do, to be down, but it's not. You're not really supporting. You don't even understand.
But talk to me 5 years from now and let me know if when a police officer decides to fuck up like that, or if anybody, not even police officers, if white people decide to just fucking gun down Black folks, and they don't have to go through no long process of waiting to see what's gonna happen. If instantly they're gonna get arrested, if instantly they're gonna get charged, if instantly they're gonna be, if they're gonna be in the news saying, well, Tom fucked up. Tom just killed fucking Tiquan, so he gotta go. Like if it's gonna be the same energy now, if it's the same energy 5 years from now, because right now it's hot and popping. That's what everybody's talking about, because everybody's posting about Black Lives fucking matter. Everybody's posting about these kind of situations now. Although on social media it's not as hot as it was 2 weeks ago now. Like we gotta keep it real. It's not on and popping, because like I said, even me, like that's the only thing you see me post, and then I went and I post a picture. I like, all right, cool. And then on my stories, I went and I post some bullshit. I was singing a song that I don't even know the words of the song, but I was posting it. I'm like, wait, but I haven't posted any petition. I haven't signed any petition. And I fail to believe that I'm the only one that cooled down on it. So that's what I'm saying.
But it's important that you recognized it. Like you noticed that you were doing that, and it brought the fire back into you for it. So that's important.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's definitely.
But like I was saying, let me see how it is 5 years from now. Because 5 years from now, I'm gonna have a 13-year-old. Although now at he being 8, shit could still happen, because didn't they gun down a 7-year-old? So he's 8 and shit could still happen. But when he's 13 and he's like bigger than me, and he might, like right now he have a little mustache, so he might have a fucking beard, and he might be fucking almost 6 feet tall, and I'm definitely gonna send him to the store to buy me some milk, because I'm not going to the store myself.
I should go say cigarettes.
No, what?
I don't know. Old school praise did they kid? Okay, don't make me no mind.
So that's what I'm saying. So like, let's have that conversation. Like, let me see if it's the same way 5 years from now. Then I'm gonna be like, all right, well, it was worth doing it. It was worth protesting and standing up in the hot sun, and it was worth.
Listen, if it only made one change,
because Corona was the hot thing a month ago. So it was risk you getting Corona, and like. But for now, I'm like, bruh.
It's making changes.
Any change is gonna be a good
drastic,
change.
but changes are being made.
Any change is gonna be a good change. Whether they change one thing or 5 things, 5 things or 20 things, right. Any change is gonna be a good change. But kind of, I want to ask you a question. So, when you finally sit down, because I know you haven't, like, correct me if I'm wrong, you haven't like sat down and had a conversation with your son about. So when that time comes, well, 1, when is the time going to come? And 2, what do you think you're going to say to him?
So I feel like the time has to come very soon, just because now I'm letting my son be like he's outside, like he's riding his bike, and he went from riding his bike right in front of my house to all of a sudden he's down the street, and I feel like 2 weeks from now he might be on the other street. So I feel like I need to have that conversation very soon, because I don't need him going on no one's lawn by accident just because he couldn't stop. So he rolled on someone's lawn and something is to happen where anyone feels threatened by my 8-year-old. So I feel like the conversation needs to happen very soon. Now, what am I going to say? I don't know, because I've never had that talk. I've never had that talk. Like, I mean, no, like I feel like I told you this several weeks ago. Like,
yeah, but you ain't tell people that.
No, that's what I'm gonna say now. Like, yeah. I feel like what I told y'all this the other day, that when I was 16 is when I noticed that I was the only black person in my class. Like I didn't grow up around his white people. Like it wasn't white people. They did have some white people in that, whatever the case maybe, but it was more on the Latino side, more on the Hispanic side. And I did not notice, me being the only dark skinned person in my class. So and I was in grade 10. I don't know what grade 10 is in America. I don't know if it's junior high, tough. I don't know what that means. But I was in grade 10 when I found this out. So from grade 1 to grade 10, I did not ever notice color. So I've never had that conversation with nobody. Maybe if my father was still alive, well, no, maybe if my father was closer, we might have had that conversation a little bit more, just because he lived in Boston, and then so I don't know if he ever been through anything like that, but I don't know what to say to my son. And he's very immature mentally to have that conversation with him, and it's like, damn. So like in my head, I'm like, I don't want to have that conversation with him, just because I don't want to take away his ignorance of just being free and just seeing people as people, because right now he sees people as people. Like for my son to be like, my son does not know that he's a black boy. My son just, if we go for him going complexion wise, to him he's brown, and to him that person is beige, and to him that other person is a light beige. Like, so he don't see black, he don't see white, he don't see no race. And it's like, damn, like now I have to go and take that away from my son. Now
you don't want him to see race?
No, because I was very fucking content with life before me knowing anything about race. Like I never had a problem. Like it was just, like, so I wish he didn't have to. Like I feel like if it was back home, if it was still back in the Caribbean or even in Puerto Rico, we will not.
But you don't want him to like celebrate his blackness. Like it doesn't have to be a negative thing. You don't want him to know race, just to know like you are something to celebrate. You being a black man is something to celebrate. It don't have to be like in a negative way.
I just wanted to be, so the way how I grew up was, you are a man, so you need to be a man. You understand? It was never you are a black man, or you are a beige man, or you are a white man, or you are a man. So this is what you do as a man. You take care of your family, you go to work, if you choose to go to school, you go to school, but you do these things as a man. You stand up for what you believe in as a man. But now he can't just be a man, or right now he's a boy, so he can't just be a boy. No, he has to be a black boy. You understand? So that's a whole different route. So I went from I'm not opening no doors, bro. You open doors for me, because that's a manly thing to do. You open a door for a woman when she going in the other thing. So when we go places, I don't open doors. My son open doors. When we go places, usually my son carries the bags. Not saying that my son needs to be no papi show for no one. I don't know if y'all know what papi show is, but no clown or no slave or no nothing for no one. But that's a gentleman thing to do. Like, we got a few groceries, like you carry the groceries, you bring them in, and we go somewhere, you open the door for me, and so so that's what I've been teaching my son. But now it's like I gotta teach my son how to be a black man. I gotta teach my son, like, hey, well, try your best to not look at no cop funny. Try your best to not sag. Try your best to not wear no hoodies. Try your best to not speed because you don't want to get pulled over. Try your best to, when you have this vehicle, don't have it too tinted. Try your best to please don't smoke, because if you're smoking and you give them the ounce of anything to stop you or to do anything for you, you can get fucked. And that's a conversation that I don't know how to have with my son, because it's like I don't want to, and I've never had that conversation myself, so I don't know how to even give it without me sounding too aggressive, or without me feeling like I'm not giving him enough information, because I don't want to be too aggressive, because he's still 8, But I feel like that's why I'm more trying to look into it, and I'm listening to all these different people speak on situations and grasping all this information, so I could figure out how I'm gonna break it down to myself.
All right, y'all.
So, you know, basically unpopular. We out here giving our rawest opinion. As you can see, like we over here talking, and all three of us, we agree on things, but we also have our own points of view, and that's the purpose of our channel. 3 different people growing up in 3 different type of lives, environments, and states, countries, and all this different stuff. So we come here with the most blunt opinions that we could offer, because, you know, that's what we do. We basically unpopular. So once again, just go ahead and, you know, hit that thumbs up, because it's not going to hurt you to hit the thumbs up. It helps us out. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Tell your cousin, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your bald-headed uncle, tell all your peoples to come on over, because why not? Join the family.
Also, please write in the comments and let us know about what y'all think about what we talked about today. Like, did you agree with some stuff? Did you disagree? You want to add some stuff? Like, add to this conversation in the comment section.
And also, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and drop some links below for me and my girls. We're gonna find some stuff to see if we could drop some links below. If it's any petition that if you would like to sign, or any
donation.
history.
Anybody who's taking donations for anything.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and drop that down in the link below, just for you. If you want to go ahead and support anything, you can go ahead and do that.
Right. Ultimately, if you're gonna take anything away from this video, please don't let the movement die. You know what I'm saying? If you're supporting it, please continue to support it. Don't let the protest die. Don't let the social media move on to the next topic. Let's keep this relevant, and let's keep on pushing to make the changes that we all know need to be made. And I think even the people who might not 100% support, they still understand that change need to happen. So let's get it done.
And to be honest with you, I grew up hearing the phrase like, crap, I'm drawing a blank. I grew up hearing the phrase, there's a fly in my house. Hearing the phrase that like bad publicity is publicity, period. So although there's a lot of people just doing this shit, doing it for clout, like, it is what it is. Once you put in that hashtag Black Lives Matter, and like it sends you somewhere else, and it sends whoever is seeing it somewhere that could learn and research and educate themselves way more on the situation. But you know what? It is what it is. Go ahead and do that too. Like, because you can't tell people how to feel. You can't tell people what to learn. You can't tell people how to partake in things. So if you want to go ahead and use, especially the hashtag Black Lives Matter for clout, go ahead, because like I always say, at the end of the day, when somebody click on that hashtag, they're gonna go into the real scenarios, the real situation, real life, Black Lives Matter type situation. So do what you gotta do.
All right, guys. Well, until next time. Y'all like my